The new documentary about the Maroons is going to be on our new streaming service. We're going to have a new streaming service. I'm going to announce that in a couple of weeks, what the name of the service is going to be. You're going to be able to stream all of our movies, and the new documentary film will be featured on that. It is a 4-hour miniseries, and what I like about the streaming service is that we don't have to cut a lot of the good stuff out. It's going to be just hot fire, just non-stop hot fire, without any parameters, without any time constraints. And I can't wait for you to see the new joint. So you guys stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, you can go to buckbreakingmovie.com and hiddencolorsfilm.com to get all the other joints, or go to officialfba.com to get some other things like books and FBA merchandise and all of that good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get right into it. Now hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get right into it about what we need to talk about. Today we're talking about dirty displacement tactics. We're talking about dirty displacement tactics. Now, out here in LA, we're focusing out here in LA. When we see a lot of things go on, a lot of black people are homeless. A lot of black people don't have the jobs that we need. Foundational black Americans, collectively, we're being undermined. It is imperative that we, as foundational black Americans, focus on what we need to get. We have to get tangibles, and we have to stop going along with the undermining of our living process. Just our daily lives are being undermined by the white supremacist powers that be. And the problem is we go along with it because you have the Democrats running out here pretending to be friends, talking about black and brown this, minority coalition. We have to understand that politics is warfare without bloodshed. We have to stop letting them engage in warfare tactics with us under the guise of kumbaya. Whenever you talk about black issues, we get the kumbaya speech. Other groups, when you talk about their issues, it's all about what their group is going to get. Family, do y'all know Biden has given billions of more dollars to Ukrainians? I'm not talking about the billions from a few weeks ago. There has been more money allocated to the Ukrainians. Out here in California, where I am, they're allocating so much money to undocumented people and some of the white Native Americans who are not really Native Americans. They just push something through that gives them free education. They don't have to pay no school tuition, so they can get free education, while our foundational black American children, they get educational debt. They go to school and they get debt all the way up until they're 50 years old. And again, I'm not going to be advocating for that debt cancellation for everybody, because that's another con game that the Democrats want to use. We want to do debt cancellation for everybody, and that includes black people. No, we're going to need specific, proactive tangibles in the form of reparations. And I want people to understand out here in California. See, California, they set precedents out here for the rest of the country. And I want y'all to understand some of the dirty tactics that's happening out here in California right now. Because they test it out here and then it spreads around the country. And the displacement tactics that they use out here. See, we have to understand as black people, the dominant society, they're constantly at war with us. We go along thinking, okay, we're just invisible Negroes. Don't nobody think about us. No, they think about us all the time. These folks have all types of think tanks that they sit up in and come up with ways to crap on us. I want y'all to understand that. They come up with ways to make sure that we are on our asses. And we have to be cognizant of this stuff. Now, as you know, we're trying to get the museum out here, and we faced a lot of difficulties and challenges. We're still going to make it happen. But I want y'all to understand the difficulties and the challenges that we're facing and some of the tactics that's being used against all black people out here, especially when you try to get into the business sector, when you try to own something out here. California real estate is very valuable, and it's going to go up even more in the next few years. We have the Olympics is coming out here. These areas are being gentrified left and right. So the real estate is going to boom out here big time. So when we try to own the property here, they get real funny style about black people owning it. And not just the business people, but just black people living in certain areas. There was an article that came out this week, family. I want to share this article with you. It came out in the Bloomberg. All right. This came out in the Bloomberg, Bloomberg.com. I want y'all to peep this. This is very heavy. It gives you an idea of what we're dealing with out here. This came out this week on the 27th. What's the day? Came out, 3 days ago, 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. An entire neighborhood is being flipped by a Los Angeles developer. Shaul Kuba. Now, this isn't the guy. This is a brother right here. He's an African immigrant, but he owns a liquor store, and he's being targeted, by the way. So they're targeting the black immigrants. You're not getting away with the targeting either. They're targeting you too. But let me show you all the guy right here. This is the guy who's doing a lot of the gentrifying. A white Middle Easterner / Israeli. I don't know what he is exactly. Shaul Kuba. They said he's an Israeli, but his family, they're Arab. So a white Middle Easterner, okay? So this guy is running $1 billion firm out here in Los Angeles. And what they're trying to do, Shaul Kuba of the powerful real estate firm CIM is remaking scrappy West Adams according to his very particular vision. Some people just don't fit the picture, okay? So now what this guy is doing, him working with the police, working with other developers and bought and paid for city council members, boy, they're getting black folks up out of these areas. Now, family, just a few days ago, me and my real estate people, we were looking at property on West Adams. There's a lot of distressed buildings out there that's for sale, and we were looking for some of those buildings. We were looking at some of those buildings on West Adams the other day, and they're giving us all types of runarounds. Right now, I'm talking about right now. They're giving us the runaround now on properties on West Adams. Again, they're doing the same thing in Lamert Park. They're giving a lot of black people the runaround when we want to buy the businesses or buy the buildings. So what they're doing, family, there's a tactic that they're doing right now. There's something that they have that they're putting on black people in California, Los Angeles in particular, called nuisance abatement injunctions. Now, what that is basically an I'm white and I say so policy. So if your area, if your home or your business is considered a nuisance, and that's arbitrary, and you're not doing anything about the nuisance, meaning abating the nuisance, then we're going to put an injunction on you. All right? So they have something called nuisance abatement injunctions. So let me show y'all how this works. Now, this one brother, he owned a liquor store out here. He still owns it. He owns a liquor store, Brother Sharif, the African immigrant brother. Now, in this article right here, it says, in 2007, Kuba summoned Abdul Jamal Sharif, who owns a liquor store half a block from the Chevron station. He called him to a meeting on Wilshire Boulevard. He offered Sharif $2.6 million for his store because they want to tear the store down and build new buildings. And that's about 60% more than Sharif paid for the business back in 2005 and 2015. Well, Sharif told Kuba that he need to think about it. All right, the brother don't want to sell his business. He's like, hey, I work hard for it. This is my joint. I'm here, so I want to keep my business. Now, A few weeks after the first meeting, Cuba called Sharif in again to close the deal. He said he promised Sharif he could continue to operate Holiday Liquor for another year or two until CIM tore it down. Sharif said he wasn't ready to sell. That's when everything blew up, he says. Cuba, that's the white Israeli Middle Easterner, exploded and called him a piece of crap. And he said CIM was just trying to help him because nobody wanted him on West Adams Boulevard anymore. So the white Israeli Arab guy cussed the brother out because he didn't want to sell. All right? Now, peep this. Now, 8 months after the meeting, because the brother didn't want to sell, all of a sudden, he got a complaint from the LA office. The city attorney accused him in a civil complaint of allowing Holiday Liquor to become an anchor point for the West Boulevard Crip gang on West Adams. The complaint cited 3 shootings and other crimes in the vicinity in the previous 2 years and described Holiday Liquor as, quote, a threat. The prosecutors asked the judge to grant an injunction compelling Sharif to abate the public nuisance. So, family, they're running this like the mafia right now. The Los Angeles, man, the people running this city is running this joint like a criminal enterprise. If you don't take their offers that they can't refuse, they'll sit up and just put some bogus injunction on you. So now, because there's gangs around the neighborhood, they're going to blame this brother for not doing anything about the so-called gang activity. That's the same thing they were doing to Nipsey Hussle, guys. Nipsey Hussle wasn't the only one. Nipsey wasn't the only one, ladies and gentlemen. That's the same thing they were doing to Nipsey. They were going up there, shaking down Nipsey, dragging them out, making them line up. This is when it was Sloss and Tees, even before it became the Marathon store. But Nipsey stayed. He didn't let them punk him out, and they had to take him out. But this is what they're doing, guys. They're sitting up here saying that you're a public nuisance because of gang activity. Now, people are pointing out there's the Chevron station and the Asian nail shops and the Asian beauty supply stores and the Arab liquor stores. They're not doing it to them. They're not doing it to the Arab and Asian-owned liquor stores, and there's a bunch of so-called gang activity there. They're not putting them under the nuisance injunctions. Okay? This is how scandalous is getting out here in Los Angeles. Hold on. Right here, they say the Chevron station and other liquor stores a block away, both with extensive crime problems of their own, face no restrictions. This order would kill business, Sharif said. He said Cuba used allies in the city council. They sicked them on him. It was complete harassment to make me give up and sell the property. With their racist and bullying and intimidating ways of doing it, that option is gone. So yeah, they're just bullying people to sell now. It's getting crazy out here. And there was another brother, and this isn't just him, another black man, a 74-year-old disabled veteran who used to live on the second floor. CIM paid him $9,000 to move. They said if I didn't take it, they'd evict me. Now, Mr. Rolls now splits his weeks sleeping in his car and at a single-room occupancy hotel. That money was gone in no time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we see so many homeless black people out here. You have black people being pushed out of their homes because they're trying to get this real estate, family. You know, out here in South Central LA, they done pushed a lot of black folks out to Riverside. They done pushed a lot of black folks out to Palmdale, Lancaster, Ontario, Monrovia, all of these places. But the black people who said, hey, my house is here, my house is paid for, I want to stay here in the house that I've been staying in for 50 years, these are the tactics they're using to get them out of there. This is why we were trying so hard to keep things going in the Leimert Park area. That's the last really quote-unquote black district in Los Angeles. And boy, you see the dirty tactics and techniques that they're using in these areas now. Let me read some more of this article, some other parts of it. Now, Sharif hired a lawyer to challenge the city's nuisance abatement injunction, he has his detractors in the neighborhood. Several signed a petition circulated by the police requesting conditions be placed on holiday liquor. One woman filed a court affidavit saying she routinely sees loiterers near the store selling and using drugs. At the same time, Sharif is known on his stretch of West Adams for providing free sodas, snacks to the local churches, and periodically his credit card to a frantic mom trying to bail out her kid from community lockup. So this brother, even though he's not FBA, he's a cool brother. He's in the community. He's rocking with the folks, and again, he tries to help folks. He's been welcome in the neighborhood, and again, they're trying to target him to get him up out of here after he turned down the money to move. Again, this is the same Nipsey playbook. This is the same thing with Nipsey, man. Nipsey's doing...
Go watch the full broadcast, y'all. Thanks for watching this broadcast. The link will be in the description below.